Hey guys and girls, it's Ken here from OKportugal and welcome to another episode of Portugal Farm Life. Today is 32 degrees. It's the 9th of May 2022 and well, today is kind of an important day because all of our grass is about to get cut. Through the winter we've been growing a variety of wildflowers, green manures, and there's also things like oats and other different types of wild grasses inside there. And the reason why we grow this is for our next door neighbour Joaquim, who's a dairy farmer, a sheep dairy farmer. Now he needs this grass because in the summertime there's absolutely no grass here. It's very, very, very dry and he has a whole bunch of sheep that need food. So he's going to come along, he's going to cut all of this, then he's going to bale it up and he's going to use that for the summer food for his sheep. It's kind of sad to see all of this grass go, and yeah. You know, I'm really enjoying having all of these flowers. It's incredibly beautiful. And if you look, some of these are almost head height. So it really is absolutely stunning to have. And as soon as it's cut, it's just going to go back to dry soil. So on the plus side, Joaquim gets food for his sheep. And me, it means that I don't have to cut all of this. In the summertime, there's lots of rural fires. And having a whole bunch of dry grass like this is a real fire risk. So you actually do have to keep your property all nice and trimmed and make sure that you don't have long dry grass like this. It's an incredibly hot day today, 32 degrees. We've only been walking for about a minute or so and this dog's already just collapsed. Come on, Eddie. So you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I absolutely love hot weather. I'm from Cape Town, South Africa, and various parts of Cape Town and the Western Cape get super hot in the summer. So I absolutely love that kind of weather. The farm is looking so beautiful at the moment, so green. Obviously, the vineyard needs another mow. It's been 3 weeks since I cut the grass and look at it. Crazy. But yeah, pretty soon all of these flowers are going to be chopped. I see in the distance over there, Joaquim's on his tractor. I think he's on his way here now to cut the grass. When you look at it in the drone pictures, it doesn't look like it's full of flowers and different types of grasses and things. It all kind of looks like a greenish brown color. But there's so much variety and so much life going on in here. So every year that we make one of these videos to do with cutting the grass, we get a bunch of comments, really silly comments from people that probably have never farmed or never really owned a big piece of land, saying how we've completely destroyed it now, you know, we've cut the grass and you've tilled the ground and you don't know what you're doing, you've ruined the farm, etc., etc. And I find them quite hilarious because every single year, and this is going to be our 3rd year now, this farm has come back stronger and stronger. The fields are looking better and better. There's more diversity in wildflowers and stuff that are actually growing in the fields. You know, there is, you know, all of the wildflowers have seeded themselves, so they're going to be ready to come back for next year. And yeah, the farm's looking great and it's always progressing. You know, a farm is all about life and death cycles of things, and there always are cycles. As lovely as these flowers are, they only last a certain amount of time and then they die. Then they become sheep food. Then they burst into flame and burn your farm down. So, you know, it's about knowing what those cycles are and using them to your advantage. Hola, Joaquim. Tudo bem. Okay, so this over here is the grass cutter, and it's basically powered by the PTO of the tractor. So this yellow thing over here is a drive shaft that basically turns a belt that powers this cutter. And then you can set the height and yeah, it's going to go through all this grass and cut it down. That's pretty amazing. I mean, a lawnmower would never be able to do this job so quickly. Joaquim's tractor is awesome. If you've been watching my videos, you know that he has about 3 of these. This one he bought quite recently. It's a Ford 3430. I think it's around 60 horsepower, but you know, it got tons of torque. So that's the important thing when it comes to tractors. But when he first got it, it had some problems. It had like some kind of a diesel leak, so it was all like dirty and everything, and he's really cleaned it up, fixed all the leaks. He's put like this bull bar on the front which looks like it's new. He's got some new lights on the front. I mean, he's really fixing it up quite nicely, because this is an old tractor. It's an old classic. It looks like he's put a brand new stainless steel exhaust on. That's pretty cool. And yeah, this thing's amazing. Oh, and then he welded this little sun hat. So really awesome. And I mean, this thing can drive a whole multitude of different tools. At the back here is a thing called a PTO, and that basically spins. It spins off the engine. It's got its own gearbox. Spins off the engine, and it uses that spinning motion to drive a whole variety of different tools and things. And as you can see at the moment, it's got these like clippers, but you can also use it to like drive rotavators, water pumps, all sorts of stuff. So it's very, very, very useful to have a tractor and to have something that's got a PTO on it, and also something that's got some power. And what I've just noticed is actually this exhaust pipe, it's got a silencer on the back, and it comes out the back here, which is highly unusual for a tractor, because normally it has like an exhaust poking upwards, and then while you're riding and stuff, you're getting like diesel fumes in your face and stuff like that. So that looks like a pretty cool upgrade that he's done. And another useful feature on tractors is hydraulics. So you can run a whole range of things that use hydraulic power. For instance, I've even seen that there's an attachment that you can put on the back of tractors that's got like a digger arm. So you can actually use them as a digger. You can use the hydraulics on the front to attach almost like a bulldozer or a scoop. And that's also hydraulic powered. So yeah, super useful. I've noticed for the last, I don't know, about a month or so, that Joaquim hasn't been driving around in his old Bedford truck. He's got this amazing old Bedford truck that's got about 500,000 miles on the clock. And actually, no, I think it's like 1 million kilometers, or it's something crazy like that. And well, anyway, he hasn't been driving it for a while, and he's just hopped off his tractor there because someone's just brought it to him. So he's about to take it for a test drive. I'm guessing that it was obviously in the shop to get fixed. So he's going to be gone for a bit. But anyway, I need to get some water. It's absolutely scorching today. So beautiful. So last year we turned our water tank into, well, we kind of renovated it and made it into something that we can dip in. And obviously now you can see like all the paint, from over winter is not so great, and there's a whole bunch of dust and everything, and a whole bunch of dirt inside because I've had it empty for the winter. So yeah, we're going to get some more paint. We're going to paint it up again, and we're going to fill it up. We're going to give it a clean. I really like this color, and there's one place that does it in Corvilla, so we've got to go all the way there. Now we're not going to be able to get there today. I'm not sure when we are going to get there, because I've got property videos for like the next 3 or 4 days. So yeah, but as soon as I get that, I'm filling up that pool because it's starting to get really scorching. So Joaquim's back. Hopefully everything went fine with his truck, because yeah, it's kind of weird seeing Joaquim without his truck. Wow, it is just amazing how it makes short work of all this grass. I mean, look at this. That's not attached anymore. It's cut straight through. Now I have to narrate this next part because unfortunately my microphone wasn't working when I filmed it. But what happened was Joaquim parked up and we discussed what we were going to do over the next couple of days in terms of baling up the hay and stuff like that. And when he got back to his tractor, it wouldn't start anymore. Now it's obviously been running for the whole day, so the last thing you would expect would be the battery to be flat. And so Joaquim's looking at the diesel filter to try and see if it's blocked. And he's also trying to see if he can bleed the fuel system in case there's air in there that's stopping the diesel from flowing. And this unfortunately didn't work. We couldn't get the tractor started. And so Joaquim called it a night, went back home, and the next day he pulled through. He brought his other tractor, which is his Ford 3610, and he brought some jumper leads, and we were going to try and see if perhaps it was a flat battery situation. Now you wouldn't expect it to be a flat battery because he was running his tractor the entire day, and you would think that it would be, you know, fully charged up. But surprisingly, it actually was the battery. So a couple of days have gone past. It's now Saturday, and Joaquim is back on the farm with his tractor. He has another implement on the tractor that is basically taking all of the grass and sweeping it up into these long, neat channels. So the reason behind having these long channels of grass is so that when he comes with a hay baler, he just has to drive along in a straight line. The hay baler can pick them all up and create nice, neat hay bales out of them. So you can see it's pretty effective at what it does. It's pretty much swept all of the loose grass and neatly put it up on the side. Now today I've got to leave the farm. I'm busy doing another property video, or a private property tour video for one of our viewers. So I'm probably not going to be able to get the whole of this process. I'm hoping that we're only doing this process today and we're not actually doing the hay baling, because that's my absolute favorite. So whenever the grass gets cut and the soil gets exposed, we get lots of flies. I mean, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I got flies landing all over me. Super annoying. Unfortunately, that's just part and parcel of when you're living in farmland and there's like animals around you, like sheep and goats and cows and things like that. So yeah, I love the summer, I love the hot weather, but when the flies arrive, it drives me completely mad. And it's about 1 in the morning. It's a bit hot and I need a shower, so I'm going outside. Gina's asleep, and well, we've got ourselves an outdoor shower. I'm not sure how well the light's going to do out here, so the camera is probably not going to work, but is what it is. Fortunately, we have this light in our outside sort of kitchen area where we park the car in the summer, and then we have this outdoor shower. So I want to have one of these. This one over here is the amount of hot water, and it goes about there. It's kind of like clockwork, this thing. That's like the cold water, and then this is the main valve. Oh, okay, yeah. We've got some serious pressure on it, and now we have to wait for the hot to come, because right now I think it's 18 degrees outside, and that is freezing well water. But we have solar panels up on our roof, and today it's been an absolute scorcher, so we're going to have some really hot water. Oh, and look over there, we got a nice, almost, no, about a 3/4 moon. Yeah, I was going to say a full moon, but it's not. So we have to wait for quite a while for this hot water to arrive, because we're quite far away. On the other side of the house there is the whole solar system that does the water and all the pipe work and everything, so yeah, it's still cold. Basically the reason why I want to go to bed and have a shower first outside is because it's really warm, and also because I've been filming sheep the whole day in flip-flops and my feet are dirty. So all I wanted to do was wash my feet, but yeah, well, we're going to do the whole shower. As it turns out, I had it the wrong way around. Basically, this is the warm, and this is like getting hotter and hotter. Okay, So now we're nearly there. Oh yeah, this is lovely. Jeez. Okay, so these are almost like these little things that, and we've got 4 of them. One sends it down to a hose and one goes up to the shower, and the other 2 are like the adjustments. It's not like a proper tap, but we are starting to get some serious warmth out of this. Oh, that's lovely. That was absolutely amazing. Yeah, I highly recommend having an outdoor shower when you get yourselves a place in Portugal. And you can hear, I don't know if this mic's picking it up, but crickets and frogs, and it's incredible. Anyway, it's off to bed now. Ciao. So a couple of days have passed. We had some rain. Now, unfortunately, before baling up grass, the grass has to be like properly dry, because if you bale up grass when it's damp, it starts to compost and it starts to actually get incredibly hot inside and can burst into flame. So it becomes like a fire hazard. So yeah, a couple of days have passed. The grass is now properly dry, and Joaquim is, well, he should be arriving soon. He's going to bring his hay baler. It's one of my favorite machines. I love looking at this thing. It's quite amazing how it's gone from this green lush flower sort of meadow and turned into this dry sort of hay and straw in just a couple of days. But yeah, that is bone dry, so this should be perfect. So we've got a big Saharan dust storm that's going to be arriving tomorrow. Another one. We've already had a few of these this year so far, and they're really annoying because they get in everywhere. Like your car gets covered. It's also quite difficult to breathe outside when it happens. It happens every year in Portugal, well, actually in Europe really, where you get these dust clouds that come across from the Sahara Desert. They go across the Mediterranean, and yeah, and they end up making things a bit difficult. Now, I was going to fill up the swimming pool. I was going to get it painted and do all of that, but unfortunately I can't. I have to wait until the dust storm's gone. Otherwise it's just going to be a complete waste of water filling it up, and it's just going to get full of mud. Here are some of Joaquim's sheep, and you can see they're sporting some new haircuts. They just got shed yesterday. Now, I filmed all of that yesterday, but that's actually not going to be available to watch until next week. So yeah, make sure you tune in next Sunday if you want to watch the sheep shearing. These flies are so bad at the moment, you know, with the heat, and also when you start to take all the grass off the fields and stuff, we just have this massive influx of flies. So I'm wearing this hat over here because instead of landing all over my head and my ears and my face, they tend to land on the hat. But yeah, at the moment they're landing all over my arms, and it makes it really difficult to film because like it's really irritating. Your arms are like, you know, jumping. So I'm going to get myself a long sleeve top. I've got some long sleeve trousers and stuff on, and then hopefully I won't get bothered as much. But yeah, the flies are a real pain here. Cool, well that's a little bit better. Anyway, while we wait for Joaquim to arrive, I thought I'd take you for a little walk through our vineyard, because things are looking a lot different in here. We're starting to see the emergence of the grapes. So they're starting to come out, which is excellent. Yeah, it was about 3 weeks ago since the grass was cut. Now I need to come through here with a strimmer again, basically trim everything between the vines. So that's going to be a job for another day when it's not so hot, because like as you can see, it's a lot of work. And obviously doing that on a day where it's like 30 plus is absolutely torturous. The last couple of years in spring we always had these like hailstorms, and they were really, really bad hailstorms, and what they ended up doing was knocking all of the buds off the grapevines, and so we didn't really get that many grapes, because obviously before the flowers could actually form and turn into grapes, they were just knocked off the plant by the hailstones. Now we didn't really have that problem this year, so hopefully we're going to get a lot more grapes. So we have a little baby cork oak growing in the middle of our vineyard. It's actually grown quite a bit over the last 3 years. I think when it was first, well, the first time I ever saw it, it was like a little twig, and now it's starting to turn into a little tree, and you can even see the cork is starting to grow, the cork bark. So that's pretty cool. So obviously you don't really want shade on your vineyard, but cork oaks are a protected species here. You can't just chop them down. You have to get permission to chop them down. And I actually quite like the fact that we're going to have a cork oak. We don't have any cork oaks growing on our land, so you know, it's a nice native species. It's fire resistant, and big cork oak trees are absolutely stunning. Yeah, these grapes are starting to look good. There's lots and lots and lots of them. Amazing. Okay, so Joaquim will hopefully be here soon. It's really hot outside, so I'm just going to find a little tree to sit under and I'll wait for him down here. We're quite close to our well, and I don't know if you're going to hear just now, but there's going to be the sound of frogs and things in there, which is pretty awesome. We've actually got fish in this well, and one just jumped over there now, and it looked really big. The first time I was aware of them was about 2.5 years ago, so they must have grown a lot since then. They're quite big fish. I would say they're probably about 30 centimeters long, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of them living in here. Sometimes if you come here at night time and you shine a torch in, you can see their sort of shadows moving around. And in the middle of summer, once all of the algae, well, not algae, this is actually blossoms, once all of those clear and sink, then you come here on a sunny day and you can see through into the water and see all the fish swimming. It's pretty awesome. Now this well isn't for drinking or anything, it's just an irrigation well. So I don't mind having frogs living in there. People keep asking me why I don't cut that sort of little tree growing out the side. That's because the frogs are using it. The frogs actually use that to get out of the water, and they're kind of living on it. So yeah, it's a nice little ecosystem down there. And it usually sounds pretty cool when you come down here if you don't make noise, and then you can hear all the frogs chirping. So Joaquim has arrived, and he's just going to put the sheep away first, and then we're going to do some hay baling. I see he's got the same idea with the hat. I wonder if it's also because of the flies. Hola, Joaquim. Cool, so let's go and have a look at this hay baler. This thing's so awesome. So this over here is a different Ford tractor. This is a 4630. You can see this one's got like the attachments on it to put the front forks and attach it to like the hydraulics. So I think a little bit later on we're going to see that he's going to have this. It's going to have forks on it, and he's going to use that to pick up all the hay bales in the fields and stuff. But yeah, I just love these Ford tractors. They look so cool, so iconic with that blue and the Ford logo. Really, really awesome. I think this one is probably quite a powerful one. It's got a huge looking transmission box here, and it's much beefier than the other two that he has. Really big back wheels. It's also made another one of these like little sun canopies for it. Very, very cool. Okay, so this is the hay baler, and a little bit later you're going to see exactly how this thing works. Again, it's got a PTO, which basically it's like a drive shaft that basically spins, and it's going to operate this machinery here. And also, if you look over here, it's got some hydraulics. So the hydraulics are also operating some of the mechanisms inside this machine. So if you look underneath, it's got these little sweeping bits, and as it goes along, it rotates this way and sweeps all of the hay inside the machine here, and it basically gets spun around, and then eventually it gets some of this cord attached to it, and when it's the right size, once it fits up this whole section here, the back opens up and the entire thing just pops out. Here we go. My favorite part. So as you can see, he's going to go along one of these little channels that were swept up previously, and this machine's going to start rotating and picking up. There we go. so there you have it. This is the first. Usually the first isn't such a good one, but actually this is nice and tightly packed, and all the string has wrapped around it. It's a good solid bale, this. And yeah, this machine does a great job of it. So we've only got a couple more rows on this field to pick up, and then we're going to move on to the rest of the farm. I'm going to try and see if I can get some better footage of the hay being baled and popping out the back of the machine. Here we go, my favourite part. And another really good hay bale. Last year I think Joaquim had some problems with this machine, but it seems to be working really well now. Yeah, amazing. So on this front field over here, we've managed to get only 2 hay bales. But that just goes to show you how compact these are, because I mean, you've seen from my videos that there was like waist to shoulder high grass on these fields. And this is a big area. So that's amazing how compact this is. So here we go, he's moving on to the next field. Can't believe how quick that was. Honestly, it hasn't taken long at all. Gina calls this thing the hay pooper, because it poops hay. It eats it up and poops it out the back. There seems to be quite a lot of grass just on this section over here, so I'm sure we're going to see another bale very soon. So far so good. On this section we have 1, we've got 2 on that front field, and in front here, the part that he's just done, we've got another 3, and I think he might be making a 4th one. Now bear in mind that we've also got a really big field just down there that hasn't been cut yet, and the reason it wasn't cut is because the grass wasn't quite long enough. It didn't seed properly, because the field wasn't ploughed. The ground wasn't soft when the seeds went down, so the majority of the seeds didn't take. So we've had a little bit of rain, the grass is starting to grow a bit better, and that'll get done in a couple of weeks' time. And also it hasn't been cut between the olive trees, and it's kind of a similar thing. I was actually keeping the grass cut myself, but for I think about 3 weeks I haven't cut this. This has obviously grown up here and in between the trees. So in a couple of weeks' time he's going to come through, cut all of this and bale it. And now he's on to the last little bit. This is probably like the biggest area, well, the biggest area now without that bottom field over there. And I think we're going to get quite a few hay bales on this one. As you can see, this one stretches for a long distance. So we've got lots of rows, and there's quite a lot of grass in each row. So we have a few helicopters that are flying over the farm, They're going to the big Mariteca Dam, getting water and probably dumping it on a fire somewhere here. Summertime is full of wildfires in Portugal, unfortunately. Summer hasn't even started, but we've had such a dry winter this year that I think it's going to be really bad. Now, if you want to keep an eye on fires in Portugal, there's an app called fogos.pt that you can download from the App Store, from the iStore. And it basically shows you a map, shows you where the fires are. You can click on the fire and it'll show you how many resources are there, how many fire engines and how many people and how many aerial resources. But strangely, it's saying 0 aerial resources, even though there's 2 helicopters. Maybe it just hasn't updated yet. It's actually really hot. I didn't expect that, but it's really hot. This is the dangerous thing about hay bales, is they're so tightly compacted that if you get any moisture in there, they actually start to compost, and when they compost, the temperature in the center goes right up, and they actually can burst into flames. I mean, this is probably only hot because it's been on the ground. It's a scorching day today. It's probably like 30 degrees. And it only doesn't look like a nice day today because, well, we've got a big dust storm arriving from the Sahara, so like it's a little bit cloudy and a little bit sort of dusty. Oh, well, there we go. We've got one more hay bale there, and then we still have these long 2 strips to go. So I reckon we're going to get about another 2. Is it just me, or is this hay pooper a super cool bit of equipment? I don't actually know what its real name is. I'm guessing it's like a hay baler or something like that. Maybe you guys can let us know in the comments below. I'm not sure if the fire that these helicopters are going to is even on fogos.pt, because that's west. That is north. And according to fogos.pt, the fire is sort of like, I don't know, northeast. And these helicopters are definitely coming from that side of the mountain and then flying over and across to the Mariteca. And here we have it. We're reaching the end. Just when it gets to our camper van down there, I think that's the last of it. Obviously, there is actually quite a bit that's still left on the field. I'm not sure if he's going to come back with his sweeper and try and sweep those up, because there's probably enough to make another hay bale or 2. And there you have it. We're all done. And I think he's managed to get enough to pop one last hay bale out. So we did get an extra 2. So that's pretty cool. So that's it. All finished. Trabalho terminado. And here we have, I thought it was going to be smaller. It's actually not that smaller. It's a nice big hay bale. Well, actually, that isn't it. He's going to be coming back now with his forklift, and he's going to come and remove all of these. So I think he's going to be here in about 15 minutes. And now we've got some fire planes. So those fire planes, the ones that actually scoop up off the lake without stopping. There's 2 of those now circling up on the mountain there. So there's definitely something going on. That's north, and that over there is northwest. So that white building over there is called St. Phil, which used to be like a monastery and a college, and it's just above there where these guys seem to be dumping water. I can't see any smoke or anything like that. Well, that was pretty cool. I've often seen these fire planes flying over the farm. I've never actually seen them dumping anything before, so that's like a first. I'd really love to catch that on film one day. But anyway, Joaquim's come back now. He's got his tractor with the fork arms on, and he's got a big trailer, and he's going to come and take these away. So far I'm counting 13, but I think on the other side of the dam, between the forest and the dam, I think there's another one there, so it's possibly 14. So not bad really, hey, just from this long rectangular shape. That's not including the grass and the olive grove. And also we've got a big field down at the bottom there that hasn't been harvested yet. So here we go, he's got the big fork arms on, and he's got a trailer, and he's just going to go and pick him up now. I walked all the way to the front gate thinking he was going to do that first, but actually he's going to pick them all up from the end and then start bringing him back up. So a couple of videos ago, I was up in the Gardunha Mountains. I'm going to put a link up on the screen so you can check it out. But where these guys are dumping the water, looks like it's very close to where we were on that day. I kind of cycled up there along all these dirt tracks. So I wonder what's actually burning there. I can't see any smoke, I can't see anything like that. There's definitely something there. I mean, they wouldn't be using like 2 aeroplanes and 2 helicopters for, hours and hours like this if it wasn't serious. So there's quite a lot going on at the moment. Like, I'm finding that firefighting pretty interesting. Such a pity I can't run down to the dam now and actually film those planes filling up on the water. But yeah, let's film what we actually came here to film. And that is the hay bales getting picked up. I think Joaquim is just on the other side of the dam here, so yeah, there he is. And there was one hay bale behind here, so I think in total we've got 14. And that's how he picks up the trailer. He reverses onto it and picks it up. So there you go. We've got, what is that, 6 bales. 1 on the forks, 5 on the trailer. And he doesn't even have to get out of the tractor. He just has to reverse and he basically picks it up using these, you know, this thing drops down and lifts back up again.
Yes.
Muito bom. So that's the first load of 6. You can see now how it starts to pick up the trailer. And yeah, there we go. So Joaquim's farm is next door to us. So he doesn't have to travel far. He just has to go out of our gates a little bit down the road. And yeah, that's where he's going to be dropping them off. And then he's going to be back. If he's got 14, he's doing 6 at a time. He's going to have like 3 loads. So while he's gone, I'm going to have a look and see what's happening with that fire on the mountain. So there's definitely not a fire up there. There's no smoke or anything like that. The only thing I can think of is that maybe these guys are doing some kind of training. You know, the Maritaker Dam's just over there. They don't waste a lot of fuel, you know, picking up water, and they've got enough distance to then fly in a straight line and do the dump of the water and then bomb back up again and come back and repeat. So I think it could be training for the fire season. Good job, Joaquim. Really good job. Yeah, so now we've got the space free, so Kenny can make himself a man cave. This is like the man barn, and we're going to be able to play music in here and chill out and have little parties and things like that. And it's got this really stunning view of the forest outside. I think it's going to make a really cool room. Just going to clean it up. We've got a whole bunch of trash in here at the moment. Clean it up, paint it up, seal the floor, and this is going to be a cool little room for chilling out. So I don't know if I showed you guys properly the last time, but look how he's reversing in, and he's got the little hook that picks up the trailer, and he gets it just into place and then lifts it up. Job done. Doggies! Doggies! Oh, don't jump up. Right, so nearly there. I'm just going to go down to the front field quickly and just count how many hay bales. We've got another, I think it's another 4. It could be another 5, I'm not sure. So actually it was 15. So yeah, we've got 15 off these fields. And there was 1 that was from last year. That was inside our barn. So 16 in total. You can see the sky's got a really, I don't know, like hazy color. It's boiling, boiling hot. There are a few sort of clouds there, but the rest of it's just all like in a haze. And we got that big dust cloud arriving tomorrow, so maybe this is part of it, who knows. And that is the end of that. The farm's had its haircut, and Joaquim has a whole bunch of food for his sheep for the summertime. And later on, he'll come and do the olive grove once that grows up a bit more, and the bottom field. Ciao, Joaquim! And that marks the end of it. So it's been another long day, but that's finally come to an end. I'm going to be able to get this footage, put it together and get it out just in time for our Patreon members to get their early pre-release, and also in time so that you guys can watch this on Sunday. Yeah, it's been a busy couple of days. Basically, you know, with farm life, there's not always something on the go. You know, sometimes there's quiet periods where the farm is growing and there's nothing happening. And then sometimes there's like super busy periods where everything's happening all at once, which is why we like to vary it up a little bit. You know, sometimes Portugal farm life isn't just about actual farming on our farm. Sometimes it's about visiting other areas where there's farms, or you know, going to restaurants, going out and about. This channel is about our Portuguese farm life. It's about our experience here on the farm and around the farm and in Portugal. So I really hope that you guys have enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, help support our channel. Maybe if you want, you can join us on Patreon and you can help support us that way. And you can get early access to like our videos and extra content and stuff like that. Anyway, it's been great. I can't wait to get all this footage down on the computer. I can't wait to crack an ice cold beer. I've been in this heavy overall to stop the flies for the last 4 hours in the sun. It's like 30 degrees today. So, I mean, look at my hat. It's all sweaty. Yeah. Anyway, see you everyone. Lots of love from the farm. Ciao.